Hello everyone, VJose32 back again with another edition of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. Actually, it's what's on deck, but there's a lot of that this week. There's some good, there's some bad, there's some downright ugly, and just a whole lot of other stuff. Let's get started with Kickstarter. First of all, I gotta inform you that the Swarm playing cards that R.J. Tomlinson was doing has been canceled. First and foremost, it was not going to reach the funding goal. But more importantly, apparently USBC was going to threaten legal action and something about changing their design. But it's kind of weird because they don't own this design that it was being changed into, so it's kind of bizarre situation. I mean, if anything, what he was doing was a benefit to USBC because he was making it so that this company from China was no longer using a rip-off of the B playing cards by creating their own version. So what's USBC's problem with that? They would rather this card company in China continue printing B knockoffs? I don't get it. Anyways, moving along, let's take a look at this one first. Alloy playing cards from playingcards.net, aka Gambler's Warehouse. New cards, as you can see, they got the iridescent stock on the tuck and the card backs. Apparently the first time on the backs of playing cards. Although I have to beg that question because, as far as I can tell, the Chameleons, the green version of the Chameleon playing cards from Conjuring Arts, has a iridescent logo on the back design, so I find that kind of questionable that they say this is the first. But anyways, as you can see, the foil on the tuck case, it glows in different colors with different lighting positions, and it's pretty awesome. That's the iridescent stock. Two colors in this project, copper and amethyst. Printed by Expert Playing Card Company, 1,100 decks in each color. Interior printing in the tuck case. The iridescent material on the foil of the back of the cards and the tuck case and all that jazz. And you can see the cards right there. I guess it is probably in comparison to the Chameleons deck, this one has a lot more. The foil is the whole back basically, whereas the Chameleons is just a logo. Here's your faces. Not bad, completely custom, yet keeping it somewhat standard. I don't mind that. And that was the copper deck, and this is the amethyst deck, I guess. Or, no, sorry, that's the copper deck. So here's the amethyst deck in a purplish color. I like it. You can see that foil again. The faces, nice. I like it. I definitely, think this is one of the better projects that launched this week, and it's probably the best one that launched this week. And you definitely should check it out. Looks like they're going to have a limited run gilded holographic foil edges when they hit $15,000. I thought they'd surpassed that already. Oh yeah, they've surpassed that, but for some reason it says it's still locked. And $20,000, a 2-deck piano from this customer. Printed box. Then there's a metal card at $25,000 and another $30,000 goal that will be revealed during the project. I wonder if it's going to be a third deck, because I don't really like to do that sometimes. Moving along, and that one is completely funded, very well funded. Next up, Bicycle Classics Comics relaunch from Classics Playing Cards, who happens to be the son of Collectible Playing Cards. Like I said, this is a relaunch. It's got a vintage comic book style look to it, as you can see, with comic book characters that nobody is absolutely familiar with, if they're even real. They do have a new and improved back design, well, somewhat improved from last time. Unfortunately, it's a one-way back design because it has pips in each corner, but it's a minor thing. I kind of prefer A personally, a solid color. I don't know, it's just me. It's hard to decide on these images. I think to see kind of the side-by-side comparison of the real product, to see the colors. But anyways, superheroes and supervillains on the court cards. Yeah, none of them are like real people, obviously. And it is currently 37% funded, 28 days to go. I will point out that in the previous project, for the same goal of $6,000, they only had $1,500 or $1,800, so they surpassed that. And I think the new back design helps. Well, whether or not they're going to achieve $6,000, time will tell. There is a possibility. So we'll see how they do. Nothing against the deck, but I'm just going to let it play out and see what happens. Next up, mini metal playing cards by Jeff somebody. This is, I guess, through Home Run Games. And they're mini versions of the previous metal decks. $20,000 goal. They're 30% funded, 18 days remain, as you can see. There is the Golden Dragon deck. Which is actually frosted brass. The Copper Unicorn, which is frosted copper, and as you can see right there. And then the Stainless Griffin, which is stainless steel. So they're actually metal decks: a stainless steel deck, a brass deck, a copper deck. That's fine. They've already released these in regular size decks, and they did decently enough. They also have these nice bicycle paper versions, which I do have, and I have reviews on my channel, and copper and stainless steel, or stainless, I guess. And they're still offering those. I guess they're trying to get rid of them, trying to unload them. And I don't know if they have any of the regular metal decks that they're trying to unload, but needless to say, these are not cheap. The decks are $55 each for a mini deck of playing cards. Most of them, as you can see, are still available. 45 out of 50, 31 out of 50 available. And actually, oddly enough, the copper is more money. It's $65 because copper is obviously more expensive and worth more. If you get all three, it's going to cost you a low price of $175, and $189 out of 200 is still available. So they're not particularly selling very well. And I think, you know, it's one thing to produce a poker-sized deck of cards, but then you start making mini decks. Who really needs that? I mean, you've already got the poker-sized decks. These people who already spent all this money really need mini decks to go with that? I mean, it's not like they're going to be using these decks anyway. So it's kind of questionable, and I don't know if it's going to fund. Next up, Legends branded Olympus playing cards from Tom Anderley. This is a relaunch. It's currently 33% funded, 23 days to go. Not sure how well it's doing in comparison to the previous version, but they do got thinner borders on the back design. And again, that Greek type theme. It's not bad, as you can see, and the back design is not bad, kind of classic looking. I'm liking it, so we'll see how it goes. Moving along, where's that other one? I'm missing one somewhere. We'll get to that, I guess. Next up here is GREMLINS playing cards from Albino Dragon. Very short campaign, 2-week project, I believe. Only a $2,500 goal, which some people were questioning a little bit. But obviously it's more of a pre-sale type thing where they've already gone ahead of to USB-C and are just getting the project funded on Kickstarter, and then it'll get produced. Obviously licensed through the Gremlins movies, featuring Gremlins from the 2 movies, printed by USB-C. Only available to Canadians, Britons, and Americans because of licensing restrictions. It's nice to see that they got Canada in there this time. A lot of times it's US and UK, and it just upsets me a little bit. Personally, I think when it comes to projects like this, they should try to get the licensing to as many places as possible before launching, to avoid disappointing and frustrating potential backers. The only minor issue I have is that in the border on the back design, they have a little copyright thing which seems ridiculously unnecessary and annoying. I mean, why do you really need that on every freaking card? We get it. It's licensed, it's trademarked, copyrights. It doesn't need that on the back design of every card. It kind of deters from the artwork. And the back design is so-so at best. But I do like the faces and custom pips and everything. It's colorful, it's fun, it's unique, it's different, so why not? I'm surprised you haven't seen a redo on the Gremlins movie, especially today's day and age. The technology might be interesting. There's one more project that I didn't have here. If I can find it. It is the, oh, I know what I did. It is the Zolkin playing card. It is pronounced Zolkin by Nick Carter. It is a relaunch. From what I can tell, they didn't really do anything with the artwork since last time. It's still a Mayan themed deck. Still same color scheme and back design. It's okay for what it is. However, they decided to go with only a 500-pound goal, which they have surpassed. They've funded already. And being printed by who knows who. I have no idea who's printing it. I have no interest in that. And there's so many other decks that are, I guess, better than this that I'd rather get, personally speaking. I do think that it would have been better if they had maybe, you know, improved the artwork a bit, done something with it to maybe get more backers instead of reverting to a absolutely ridiculously low goal just to assure funding. That's all it is. Next up, we got another relaunch, the Black Widow playing cards from Justin Freud, jam-packed cards, a red deck and a black deck. There's going to be embossing and foil stamping on the boxes. That's a stretch goal. Red foil on each card back. That's also a stretch goal. Those were originally going to be in the decks, but now there's just stretch goals, which is a little bit disappointing. But I do, like the artwork and everything. It's fine for what it is. Ooh, look at that. The red deck also. Red embossing and stamping foil on the cards. And the tuck case and everything. But, I mean, I'm not even sure if it's going to fund at this rate. It did just launch yesterday. So it's got lots of time, 34 days. It is 20% funded with 34 days to go, actually. I don't know how I got 30 days. But anyways, that is what it is. I like it. Definitely check it out. Next up, I do not like this one. Skyvora High Grade Playing Cards, First Edition by Skyvora. They consider this a premium casino quality deck designed with an elegant marijuana theme. First of all, I do not think there's anything elegant about marijuana. You'd have to be smoking it and high to think there's something elegant about it. The back design is Joy. It's a dog with wings. And it says Skyvora. And it's got, well, marijuana all over it. And then we get to the faces. Look at these court cards and aces. They got weapons, drugs, booze, and whores all over this deck. I mean, I've heard about sex selling, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Women that are unrealistically proportioned. The Queen of Diamonds looks like a terrorist, which is racist and ridiculous. And there's even been complaints about another card. There's that one. She looks Middle Eastern to me, and she's got a weapon. You got a farmer girl. This one, the Queen of Clubs. I don't know if you'll see her elsewhere. Asian funder. Or sorry, Alaskan funder. Oh my word. This one here, some have been saying is like kiddie porn because it's, well, a Girl Scout girl, but obviously she's not a little girl, it's not kiddie porn, but I mean, this is just ridiculous. I've heard about sex selling, but this is ridiculous. They look like whores, and these guys are pimping them out, basically. And it just, oh my goodness, really? I can't support this. It's trash, in my opinion. And I do not recommend it. It's going to be printed by MPC. They may have a stretch goal for expert playing cards, although I'm not sure they'll make it. Currently, it is 42% funded, 29 days to go. I'd say the chances of funding are pretty decent since they've only got a $1,500 goal, but the chances of getting a lot more for expert playing cards, I don't know. Marijuana themed decks usually don't do very well. This might be the second one to fund. Then there's this, learn Spanish or French while playing cards, is from Douglas Beats, who is from Canada. It is 57% funded, 36 days to go, more than enough time for it to fund, and I think it will. However, it's not the first decks that I've seen like this. In fact, I have decks like this already that I got from Kickstarter last year, I think it was, early this year. And you can check the reviews on my channel. Same thing, and they also came out with Italian and Indonesian versions. But as you can see, it's playing cards. They're not bad, and then they have, although the back design could be a lot better, but they got phrases and words in different languages, very similar to what I already have. Is what it is. Next up, oh my word, medical cannabis poker cards from Mike Mikolazek. I don't even know how to pronounce that correctly. Is doing absolutely horrible. 1% funded with 27 days to go. The chances of funding are pretty much nil at this rate. Being printed, I'm guessing, by MPC because USPC won't touch this. However, I don't know. It's got a very big goal for what it is, $6,000. But it does say 310 GSM casino grade stock, so I'm guessing that is what it is. And they even got a website. The faces, they just got marijuana and drugs all over it. It's absolutely horrible. They're just pictures, no effort. It's just Googling pictures and putting them on the faces. The backs, horrible, one-way back design. I don't care what you call it, medical cannabis, medical marijuana, still drugs, still pot. Saying it's, medical, whatever, it doesn't change the purposes. And to me, it's trying to sell a deck of cards based on it being medical marijuana and not drugs. But, it is what it is. Oh, yeah, they even got a brick box that nobody's going to want. Moving along, something better, hopefully. Yes, better. Fall of Troy playing cards, epic playing cards from Duck Soup. If you could type pronounce it. They even got a website. It's 39% funded, 29 days to go. Let's get this one funded. It's pretty good, as you can see. Nice artwork based on the Trojan War, ancient Greek designs. The back design is fantastic, as you can see. Different, unique. Everything is completely custom, unique, different, really stands out in your collection. I definitely wholeheartedly recommend this one. I would have to think. And it's going to be printed by, I believe, I believe it's expert playing cards. Okay, I don't think it says. Oh, printed by MPC. In order to utilize some of the exciting new techniques and technologies they are playing with. So it should be okay. I'm sure maybe if they get enough money, they might print with somebody else, but right now, it's just concentrating again to $8,000. Let's move along to this. Steam Riot playing cards, 3% funded, 21 days to go. It is not going to happen. $12,000 is an absurd goal for a deck like this. Honestly, I think people said, look at what they've got and say, okay, is this going to fund with USB-C printing or not? And in this case, it's not. Has no chance. It should be produced by some small company if they want a chance of funding. It's really colorful and bright. I'm not even sure how these colors are going to turn out on actual playing cards. I don't think it'll look good at all. And I mean, look at this. It's just ridiculous. And not to mention, it is like the 1 millionth deck we've had with steampunk themes. So yeah, it's got some interesting add-ons, but they get expensive, as you can see. Moving along, I wanted to point out this one, Grand Ace. It's a single deck card dispenser. It's not going to happen with a $10,000 goal. 28 days to go. It's only 2% funded, but it's, I guess, a novel idea. I guess. I mean, it's not like there isn't deck dispensers out there, but this is just for one deck, and it's got a nice vintage type look to it. But the goal is absurdly high. And then there's this utterly ridiculous campaign, $175,000 goal. It's 0% funded, 17 days to go. It's got zero chance of actually funding. It's for a online network for playing card games, and the only rewards you get are memberships to this website and whatnot. And I don't think that's even practical or even a good reward for a project, because wow, somebody actually, oh no, somebody didn't. Somebody did, however, pay, well, 10 people paid $60, 2 paid $100, 1 paid $300, because he's an idiot. But well, I shouldn't call anyone idiots, but I mean, chances of this funding next to nothing, and it's ridiculous. I mean, I can understand that, but when I pledge for a project on Kickstarter, I want an actual reward, something I can have in my hand, something I can look at, not just a membership to some website that may not even happen, even if it by some fluke funds. By the way, I want to mention this one again. This one, 12 days to go. It's going nowhere fast. I think this is absolutely, undoubtedly, one of the worst, if not the worst, playing card project, deck of cards on Kickstarter, because it has been unable to achieve the measly goal of $500. I think this has got to be the first deck of cards on Kickstarter that has not hit a $500 goal. That's how bad it is. It's absolutely lame. So let's move on. There's a lot more to talk about. I know. I've been talking forever already. Walmart has been releasing some new decks. They have these steampunk decks, not that panda deck, but the bicycle steampunks in red and blue, which I hope to get soon. No idea what the faces look like. Haven't seen them. They have these ones, the rider backs. There's the Moscato and Marsala wine themed decks, obviously. Pretty much standard faces, as you can see, but nice colors. Oh, look at that, $3. Price good today only. Wow. It's on sale. Funny enough, they got the French writing on there, but I haven't seen them. Then again, I haven't looked that much at Walmarts in Canada. And then there's this that I just found out about, the Bicycle Mariner playing cards in red and blue. Very nice. These actually have some customization to the faces, mainly the Ace of Spades, some recolorings on the court cards and whatnot. And there was also, no, that's it, I guess. This is coming September 1st to Kickstarter from Jody Eklund, Devastation, although I'm still waiting for his last project, Innovation. Nice aces. Check out this. Very sexy. Standard edition, very nice. I like it. There's going to be obviously a couple different versions. Check out this Lancelot and more. I could see there's slight differences from one deck to the other, obviously, but very elegant, very nice. And then there's this from Jackson Robinson. No idea when it's coming. Bicycle Crazy 8's playing cards. But it does have some more artwork. And it's definitely different for a Jackson Robinson deck. But it's cool, as you can see. I like it. Just wanted to point that out. Oracle Shadow Edition apparently coming this month sometime. Haven't seen anything yet. From Chris Ovdienko of Dead on Paper. Like we need another dark version of Oracle playing cards. The last one was already dark. I found this on Instagram, coming soon to Kickstarter, designed by Alex Brower, and being put on Kickstarter through the GotMagicShop.com website, which I just discovered yesterday. It looks like, sadly, standard faces with a very colorful back design. Joy. And then there's the Keat Moon deck from bombmagic.tw in Taiwan. Keat Moon is a known collector and I guess cardist. It's a very colorful deck. Colorful back design. And just designed with cardistry and flourishing in mind, as you can see. I like it. Decently priced. I get the price. $12 for one. $122 for a brick. A few more things I need to mention. We'll start with this. First of all, the Blue Crown released their new black NLC decks. They were $5.95 during the first 48 hours. They're now up to $6.95, still available if you really need them. Shipping, I will give them this much. Shipping on the Blue Crown is extremely decent. When it costs like $6 to ship a deck to me in Canada, I'm happy. It's the only website that does that. 311 has a new deck coming very soon. I don't know if it's listed here or not. No. I know it is on their Facebook page, so we'll check that out. And it is Tycoons in Black, coming August 31st. No idea what time. As you can see, very nice. Hopefully there's no other color versions that they're working on for this. And they do have another color of the Jack decks coming at some point in time as well. And then Dan and Dave, they have a new deck that just released on Friday. I wasn't even aware of it because they were Instagramming about it, and I don't Instagram. But it is the Aviator playing cards. Very nice, as you can see. Whoops. There is some changes. They teased this deck about a year ago. There's been some changes to the court cards, the tuck case, everything basically, but it's still the same back design. It's in collaboration with the USB-C. They reimagined the Aviator playing cards to honor Howard Hughes and his pioneering advancement in aerospace design and technology, who was from 1905 to 1976. So it's pretty awesome. I like the nice old school vintage style tuck case. The back design, everything. Aviators on there. And the court cards, kind of a vintage look. Previously they were just kind of black and white. more vintage style, but they decided to add color, which is fine, I guess, but it was fine the way it was. Anyways, that is that. Lots going on. Nothing from Illusionist apparently, but everyone else is doing something. One more I want to mention, for sure. It is the there we go. Get this to one. Egyptian Glyphs playing cards, which is from Emmanuel Valtierra, who previously put out a similar deck, which was I think it was Mayan themed. Here you can see the artwork. Very nice. I like it. Definitely worth checking out. It is coming out on August 29th at 2 p.m. on Kickstarter, so be on the lookout for that. That's what I got for this week. A lot to talk about. I apologize if it's really long. I will see you next time.